guys, welcome to another video. In this video we'll show you how to use submissions dashboard to resubmit failed data to Salesforce. Now, many of you who've used Form Titan over the years, you know that functionality is available there, but it is now also available in Titan Web. Step one, what you need to do is you must install our package. Go to Settings, Document Generation, and then click on the App Exchange URL to download the latest version of our package. It's very important. Without it, you will not be able to use this functionality. Because what it does, once you've installed it, it will give you this object called submissions. All right? This is what you're really going for at the end of the day. Once you install the package, you get My Submissions, and this is where we're going to push your failed data to Salesforce, which you can then use to resubmit into its relevant object. Anyway, that's the step one. So step two, we're going to go ahead and actually create some data. So let's go into one of my existing projects. What I've done is created fields such as first name, last name, and I'm going to create a case, and I'm also going to add some files. Now, let me show you what I've done in the push. In the push, it's very, very simple. The first one, I'm just creating a simple contact, and I've mapped only two fields, which is my last name and first name. That's all I've done. But here's the most important part. If you go into the advanced, in order for the submissions to work, you need to check this functionality, Save to My Submissions. Without it, it will not work. Okay? Very important. This is the same for the child object. So here I'm just creating a push of the file upload that I've created. I'll show you the fields that I've mapped. Title is choose files, version data is choose files, and this is the first published location ID. And again, the important part, save to my submissions must be checked. Next up, if you have a look, I'm just creating a simple case here. And what I've done is I've created a parameter called contact ID, which is passing the created contact ID to that parameter, and then I'm using it to link it to my case. And these are the only two fields I've mapped over here. And then again, same thing, I'll repeat again. Under advanced, this must be checked. Very, very important. Save to my submissions. Right, finally what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the parameter I've created to pass my contact ID. Very simple, it's just called contact ID and we're passing the value in there. Let me show you my submit, hyperlink, Salesforce action, and what I'm doing is I'm creating a contact, passing parameter to contact ID, then I'm creating a case. It's a custom execution order, but it will vary on how you do it. Anyways, that's been done. Click apply, click save. Now, there are three ways to access your submissions. You could go to project, click on my submissions like this, and all of this is now available to you. These are some of the previous submissions I did. You can back check them or do whatever you want at the end of the day. Okay, next up, you can also edit them if you want, but this is irrelevant for now. I'll show you what I actually mean. Secondly, if you go to dashboard, for example, you can also access your submissions per web. So if you click on the three dots, you can go view submissions again, it takes you to that dashboard. From there, if you go to my submissions, it's also available there. You just have to select your project, and just like that, your submissions are going to be available in there when you click on search. You can also define them by date, but we'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so first up, what we're going to do, go to submissions here. I'm going to go ahead and create a false. Just going to fake a submission. It's not going to have anything. It's just going to be completely empty. So let's go ahead and do that. Click submit. Now this should fail, really. You should not create anything. You should give me an error in the integration logs as well. I'll show you. So let's just refresh. And time is, yep, so this is it right here. So as you can see, I've got an error message saying actually we've failed to create it. Now, if you go back to my submissions, for example, and you track the time, you can see that it's failed. And here it is, okay? I'm going to highlight it for you right now. Now, because it has a child object as well, that's obviously failed as well because nothing's created. If the first one's not going to create, the second's not going to create it either. So what you can do is you can go to your submissions, you can re-edit this, and then you can just put value in there. For example, I'll say failed, well, I'll call this one submission, failed, first name, last name. And if I click save and then resubmit, it's going to resubmit that data and push it to Salesforce. Now, if I go and just quickly refresh this list view, you can see my failed submission has now been created. Really easy. Okay, and then I can take this contact ID, go back into my submissions, have a look at my case here, which has got nothing in there. I can pass that in there. I can give it a random subject alike. I'll say failed submission case. Click save, and then resubmit. And now that's been created. So now here you can see there are no cases, but if I click it now, boom, the case has been created. It's really that easy, and everything has been linked together. So now let's just go ahead and delete this, and I'll show you a full sort of play on how all of this works. Now understand that, as I said, you need to have a package installed because everything goes into My Submissions. This is where all your data is going into. It will show you everything in terms of whether it was success, in terms of whether it was failure. You will get all the messages in here one by one. So this is where all of the data gets pushed in, because obviously we can't store it on our server. It has to go on your Salesforce, the entire point of Titan Web. So that's the submission functionality available. Again, you can search, you can have a look at the original state, you can look at the run criteria, all the conditions that are set, you can even look at the files. Now on the file side of things, if you look at it, you'll be able to download those as well. So you can also resubmit in batch. So for example, let's say I do, let's say, we go ahead and do this. So we'll say submission success, SS, submission success. It's going to upload a random screenshot here, and then I click submit. Now it's going to submit the data to Salesforce, but once it's done that, again, we'll be able to go back to our submissions and have a look. So again, My Submissions, you can see that right now it's created it. So the things that I really want to show you right now is if you look at the child object here and look at the this submission, you'll be able to see what the files have been uploaded, and you'll be able to download those. And then you can re-upload those directly. You will not be able to do it from here. That might happen in the future, but for now you'll be able to re-download those and upload them directly into the contact that you create. Now, what if you wanted to run a custom execution order here? How would you do that? Let's say, you know, I wanted to create an account and a contact, but I want to make sure that 1 and 2 account creates first, then contact creates second. So in this case, this will be contact plus the case. So what you can do is you can go ahead and, let's say, highlight these two here, but you can tell like this. So 1 and 2 are now going to run. 1's going to run, then 2 is going to run. So let's say if I go in here and I change the, let's say I go ahead and change the values, for example. I'll call this one submission success 23234. And then this one, I can obviously fetch it once it's been created. So let's say I'll go ahead and we will do uncheck, uncheck. And then you can resubmit. And once it's been resubmitted, go back into Salesforce, and you can see it's now been created. And then you can take this one and go in here and then just change this ID. And then let's say if I now wanted to resubmit select, I mean, this is not a great example because obviously, you know, you're going to need 2 different data points, but let's say you wanted to run 1 and 2 and 3, this is how you would do it. You would essentially set up your custom execution order, 1, 2, and 3, and then do resubmit selected, and then it will resubmit it. If you wanted to see the integration logs quickly, you'll be able to do that here as well. Very, very easy. You can see the submission IDs here as well. Again, if you wanted to filter it by date and start and end date, you can do that. You can also do it by failures. You can also do it by success. You can also do it by different pushes that are available. So this is my contact plus the child push that's available off the files. And then if I just want to see case, you can see case as well, like that. And again, if you wanted to resubmit all the cases, you can choose them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however you wanted to do it. It's really up to you. And yeah, this is the submissions functionality. It's quite in depth, but this is how you do it, and this is how you play with it.